The intersection of Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool in 2015 marked a resurgence in the football world. With the touch of the German coach, Liverpool, which had been far from its former glory in those years, has become one of the world's leading teams today. They've achieved many successes, including the long-awaited Premier League championship. However, this impressive partnership will come to an end at the end of the season as the legendary German coach, citing depleted energy, announced his departure from the team. Let's take a look together at how Klopp lifted Liverpool from tough times to the pinnacle and turned them into one of the world's leading clubs. Liverpool, one of the best teams of the 1980s, experienced a decline after the English Football League changed to the Premier League. In the 1990s, they lagged behind rivals like Manchester United and Arsenal and couldn't clinch championships. However, things began to change at the start of the 2000s. The foundation laid by Gerard Houllier saw the team reach the summit under the management of Spanish coach Rafael Benitez. During this period, they became one of the best teams in Europe, with successes in the UEFA Cup and the Champions League. The decline of the club started in 2010. That year, they parted ways with Rafael Benitez, who had spent excellent years at the helm, and the club was sold to the Fenway Group due to financial difficulties. The departure of Benitez and the financial turmoil affected the positive trajectory. Despite appointing Roy Hodgson and club legend Kenny Dalglish as managers after Benitez, the team finished the seasons in 7th and 8th places, a departure from the standards they were accustomed to. The first sign of transformation for Liverpool, which did not receive the expected contribution from these names, would come with Brendan Rodgers. Rodgers spent his first season, the 2012-2013 season, as an adaptation period, finishing 7th in the 2013-2014 season. Despite leading the league for a long time with prominent figures like Luis Suarez, Gerrard, and Sterling, they finished 2nd. This achievement was Liverpool's best result in years. However, selling Suarez, one of the key players of the successful season, was one of their biggest mistakes. Instead, Liverpool tried to fill the void with both Balotelli and many inadequate players. Liverpool's attempt to start anew with a newly formed squad failed in the following season, 2014-2015. Following the unsuccessful season, Liverpool gave Rodgers one last chance. However, the season didn't start well under his management, and the club decided to part ways with him. The dismissal of Brendan Rodgers in October 2015 would be a turning point for Liverpool, even if they weren't aware of it at the time. That year, after experiencing a poor season with Dortmund, the legendary Klopp parted ways with the club and didn't want to manage a team for a long time. Liverpool executives wanted to try their luck with the available coach. They talked to the German coach, discussing their ideals and visions. This insistence pleased Klopp because he admired Liverpool fans and had a special affection for clubs integrated with their supporters. He couldn't turn down this opportunity and accepted Liverpool's offer. Klopp, the German coach, joined the team on October 8, 2015. On his first day at Liverpool, the team was in 11th place, and the task ahead was challenging. In his first statement, he declared, "I can't shout that we'll achieve everything loudly, but I'll do everything in my power. We'll restore faith in this team that has lost its belief. Everyone should trust us," injecting excitement into Liverpool fans with his words. What everyone expected from him, and what led to the nickname heavy metal football for the team he took to the top at Dortmund, was Klopp's adaptation of gegenpressing football to Liverpool. However, it wasn't that easy for a team he didn't build from scratch, so the performances were inconsistent in his first half season, and they finished 8th in the league. The first signal of change under his leadership would come at the end of his first season. Although they made it to the Europa League final that year, they lost to Sevilla in the final. However, this success was just the beginning for Klopp's Liverpool. Everyone was very excited for Klopp's first full season, the 2016-2017 season. The first move happened in the sporting directorate with inadequate and unnecessary transfers. The new sporting director for Liverpool was Michael Edwards, who had previously held several positions within the club. Although he was the new sporting director, his CV didn't seem particularly impressive because it was known that Rodgers had often been criticized for transfers. However, with the German coach, this situation turned completely around as they acted together and in unison. During Klopp and Edwards' initial period, players like Sadio Mane, Wijnaldum, and Karius were brought into the team. However, there were many question marks after the signings because Sadio Mane hadn't experienced playing for a big team, and Wijnaldum had been relegated with Newcastle, thanks to Klopp's incredible confidence and bold moves. The new signings exhibited remarkable harmony contrary to expectations. They became indispensable players for the team that year. The manager's tactical plan began to take shape gradually, with a midfield composed of more defensively oriented players. Despite the absence of European football that season, they performed well in the league, finishing fourth, which was considered a good achievement for a club that had been outside the top six for years. Looking at the 2017-2018 season, this was the year where Liverpool truly began to make strides forward. The German coach made a statement, saying, "We are Liverpool. We are not normal. We must do extraordinary things," and he started to utilize the wings more than the center of the field. Before the season began, important names like Mohamed Salah, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Robertson were added to the squad. Academy player Alexander-Arnold also found his place in the team. The main goal for this year was primarily to succeed in the Champions League after many years. The season started poorly in the Premier League with only 3 wins in the first 10 matches. Similarly, the Champions League campaign also started poorly with only 2 draws in the first 2 matches. Defensive vulnerabilities were evident. However, despite the poor start in the league in Europe, the form of the forward line was promising. Salah performed exceptionally well. Coutinho showed further development, and Firmino and Mane looked even better compared to their first season. Until the end of the first half of the season, they maintained their form and achieved successful results. However, they suffered a significant loss during the mid-season break as one of the team's most important players, Coutinho, moved to Barcelona. Despite Klopp's pressure for him to stay, the Brazilian star didn't listen to the coach. Immediately after Coutinho's departure, another problem needed to be addressed: defensive issues. While the team looked strong in attack, there were vulnerabilities in the defense. Therefore, they signed Virgil van Dijk from Southampton to strengthen their defense. The CD1 million transfer fee made Van Dijk the world's most expensive defender at the time, causing doubts among many about whether he would justify such a hefty price. However, Van Dijk proved his worth with outstanding performances, helping Liverpool become one of the least conceding teams in the league. With Van Dijk seeming to complete the missing piece, Liverpool showed an excellent performance in Europe that season, reaching the Champions League final after an 11-year absence. However, they couldn't clinch the trophy, losing 3-1 to Real Madrid in the final. After the match, the German coach Klopp confidently stated, "Next year, we will win the trophy. I'm already looking forward to facing our rivals." As we move into Klopp's 4th season, the 2018-2019 season, it was the year the team reached its peak level. As a result of Klopp's 3.5 years of effort, they climbed to the top. They had a fantastic league campaign, experiencing only 1 defeat throughout the season. Yet they could only finish second against Manchester City, who showed an extraordinary performance. This second place was the closest Liverpool had come to winning the Premier League title in recent years. In Europe, Klopp fulfilled his promise from the previous season. Despite a challenging journey in the Champions League, they defeated another English representative, Tottenham, in the final and lifted the trophy. The football played by the team that year was dazzling. In addition to the trio of Mane, Firmino, and Salah, there were incredible fullbacks like Alexander-Arnold and Robertson who made significant contributions to the team. These 2 fullbacks were also the best in the league that year. The real story unfolded in the Premier League the following year. The German coach received plenty of criticism during the Premier League marathon, as the gegenpressing style of play led to players becoming fatigued quickly. To address this, Klopp developed an alternative strategy that involved active defending and counterattacking in parallel with the pressing game. This tactical adjustment, especially effective in the Premier League, allowed them to achieve remarkable results and establish a fantastic tempo. Despite the extended Premier League season due to the pandemic, they broke the record with 18 consecutive wins in a place like England and finished as champions for the first time in the history of the league. It's not a dream. We finally became champions. Our players, the absent fans, the coaching staff, the president, and the entire city of Liverpool. They are all champions, Klopp humbly stated after winning the title. His remarks showcased his modesty and gratitude for the collective effort. In the 2020-2021 season, Liverpool faced challenges due to injuries and a depleted squad, resulting in suboptimal performance. Despite a lack of form from the main Firmino-Salah trio, they managed to finish second in the league and reach the final of the Champions League. However, despite dominating Real Madrid in the final in Paris, their excellent performance wasn't enough to secure the trophy. Losing 1-0 in the final match marked Klopp's second defeat in the Champions League final during his tenure at Liverpool. Moving on to the previous season, it was a downturn year for Liverpool, and there were several reasons for this. The trio of Mane, Firmino, and Salah had lost their form, with Mane moving to Bayern Munich, leaving Anfield supporters disappointed. However, Liverpool fans had faith that Mane's successor, Luis Diaz, would deliver similar performances. Additionally, Darwin Núñez, who had previously impressed against Liverpool and joined their ranks for a record fee, was expected to become the top scorer. Despite high hopes, the team had a dismal start to the season, finishing ninth at halftime. New signings failed to meet expectations, prompting a stormy move for Gakpo in the Netherlands during the mid-season break. However, even he couldn't meet expectations. Their elimination by Real Madrid in the Champions League in March and finishing fifth in the league at the end of the season was a significant disappointment for Klopp and the fans. It was a heartbreaking season for Liverpool supporters as they witnessed the team's midfield issues persisting. Scissor moves were made this time to address the long-standing midfield problem, with Szoboszlai, McAllister, Gravenberch, and Endo joining the team for a combined fee of $172 million. The legendary trio of Firmino, Fabinho, and Henderson was sent to Saudi Arabia, marking a significant shift in the team's composition. Despite these changes, Liverpool started the season like a storm and currently sits atop the Premier League with 48 points. However, amid what seems like a perfect season for them, fans were shocked by recent news. The team's contract with the coach Klopp, who they have been struggling to renew, will expire at the end of this season. Klopp announced that he will leave his position as the team's head coach. The German coach explained the reason for his departure. Many may be shocked, but I will leave Liverpool management at the end of the season. I no longer have the energy. So was Klopp's departure truly due to his depleted energy? Despite being linked with the German national team and Bayern Munich during the years when Liverpool performed exceptionally well under him, Klopp never paid heed to these rumors. He has taken Liverpool from the 2015 period to an amazing point, almost resembling a 10-year journey. During this time, they won the long-awaited Premier League title, as well as the Club World Cup and Champions League. Let's not forget that they also lost in the Champions League. Final twice, he holds many records as Liverpool's coach, being the fastest to achieve 100 victories, going unbeaten in 44 matches at Anfield, and more. Before Klopp, the team's average points in the Premier League over 6 years were 63, but it rose to 82 under him, which is a remarkable average. When he took over the team in 2010, valued at PS $300 million, it is now worth $1.8 billion. Klopp kept his promise from the first day he arrived at Liverpool, instilling tremendous confidence in the city and the players, becoming the biggest architect of the team's return to its former glory. Klopp, who even learned the local dialect of Liverpool, is considered more than just a coach by the people of Liverpool. For all the transformations he brought, he didn't spend more than PS $1 billion. Despite the beautiful things he experienced, there were also challenges. Klopp's refusal to spend money due to certain beliefs, giving too much playing time to inadequate academy players, trying to cover for injured players with makeshift ones, and being fixated on some issues were some of the criticisms leveled against him. Of course, these criticisms emerged from those who appeared when things were going badly. At the end of the season, Liverpool's departure from the German coach is now a possibility. Currently, with the team potentially finishing at the top of the Premier League, they are one of the few teams standing firmly on the ground. However, apart from his departure, the biggest fear for Liverpool fans after Klopp is the appointment of an inadequate coach, because in the past, declines have occurred in this way. According to many claims, the club's potential candidates for the coach are already somewhat clear. The number one candidate is Xabi Alonso, who has shown great performance at Leverkusen. In my opinion, this would be a very correct choice, as former players can create a new atmosphere in Liverpool after Klopp. After a major departure from the Liverpool-Klopp union, what do you think will happen to Liverpool's fate after this season?